Before I explain why Shelly cannot be with us tonight, I want to share with you my favorite Shelly story. It's funny, but it also has a touching ring to it. It was January of 1993, and we were flying to San Diego to swim UCSD in a dual meet, sponsored by Chevrolet. As two of the only first years selected for the trip, Shelly and Julie Price were in the seat ahead of me on the flight. And of course, like freshmen everywhere, spent most of their time giggling and carrying on. Halfway through the flight, things get a bit quiet, and Shelly turns around in her seat and in a hushed tone asks me, "Hey coach, what do you think of Neil Butler?" And for your information, Neil was a first-year swimmer, somewhat shy, clearly not interested in Shelly. It took me a little bit by surprise, a little different than the normal "hey coach," which I got every 10 minutes. I said I thought Neil was a pretty good guy. "But why are you asking?" Shelly responds, "Well, coach, he doesn't really like me, but he's going to." I knew Shelly well enough at that point in time to think, "You'd better be ready, Neil. Your life is about to change." And the rest is history. Shelly and Neil have been together for 18 years, during which time they vagabonded around Australia for a year after college, got married in 2003, have 2 beautiful children, and just last month celebrated their 10th wedding anniversary. To quote Julie Price, "What a love story." And it truly is. Along with Justin and Ashley Rowe at Carpanos, theirs is one of a handful of storybook Kenyon swimming marriages. In 2009, Shelly was diagnosed with colon cancer. Just a few days ago, it was necessary that she undergo a targeted radiation procedure, preventing Shelly and Neil from being with us tonight. But please don't feel sorry for them. That's not what they would want. In fact, if you have an opportunity to read Shelly's blog, it provides a frank discussion of her fight with cancer over the last 4 years. But it's her off-the-wall humor that will have you laughing. You'll definitely have a window into what makes this woman so extraordinarily special. Since Shelly and Neil can't be with us tonight, I thought it appropriate to close this presentation with a few thoughts from Neil Butler about his wife. First and foremost, Neil wants us to know that, and I quote, "Cancer does not define us. We live our lives to the fullest every day, and when we have to deal with cancer, we deal with it and move on. Over the last 4 years, we've traveled to more destinations than we can count, moved twice, started a new company, attend one social event after another, and watched our kids grow up. Our children, Betty and Rose, have entered elementary school, learned new sports, and taken up new activities. We take an enormous amount of pride in how our kids have developed into happy, empathetic little individuals, despite what's been going on around us. Shelly's toughness is evident when she attends Rhodes' T-ball game immediately following 3 days of brutal chemotherapy, or taking the kids to their first day of school this year, right before taking herself to the hospital." And Neil continues, "Knowing Shelly as long as I have, it never ceases to amaze me how I gain new respect and see new angles to her all the time. The following story illustrates her grit and her ability to live her life in the moment. In August of this year, after almost 4 years of cancer treatment, Shelly decides to take up a new sport. She joins an adult tennis league and takes lessons at our local club. Besides the obvious appeal of buying new tennis outfits, she thought it would be fun to improve her skills and meet some new people. As Shelly says, hey, why not? Having witnessed from the beginning the physical challenges she had gone through, it boggled my mind that Shelly somewhat innocently thought, yeah, I think I'll sign up for tennis. Might be nice to improve my game a little. I'm not sure how many advanced colon cancer patients 4 years into treatment would think this way, but Shelly does. It simply never occurred to her that she might not be able to do it. This represents everything I love about her. And Neil tells the following story. So Shelly has been playing tennis every Wednesday from 7 to 8 p.m. throughout the summer. One day she comes home and tells me a funny story. She was hitting with an older guy named John. Now John is a successful, seemingly fit guy in his 50s. type A personality. After about 10 minutes of hitting back and forth, this guy pulls up and walks over to the bench. He declares that he's done and needs to ice his wrist. A nagging injury, apparently. He walks off and leaves Shelly on the court. So Shelly just asks around and finds someone else to hit with the rest of the night. The funny part of this story is watching Shelly impersonate, which she can do better than anyone, and I can attest to that. This geeky guy whining about a sore wrist, while unbeknownst to him, he is playing against a woman who has overcome enormous physical and mental feats to be there. If there is one takeaway from swimming at Kenyon, it is focusing on the process. It's about how you prepare and how hard you work every day, not simply about the end result. During this period of our life, we focus on the task at hand, the treatment, the day, or maybe a couple of days. Before we know it, we are stringing together days into weeks, weeks into months, and months into years. Cancer treatment is a fluid and rapidly changing field. To try and forecast anyone's outcome, not just cancer patients, is an exercise in futility. Our son Rhodes was 1.5 years old when Shelly was diagnosed. A couple of weeks ago, we dropped him off for his first day of kindergarten. Nobody knows what the future holds, but we plan to continue one day at a time. And before we know it, maybe Shelly will be dropping off at Kenyon College. Thank you. Welcome, Shelly.
Coach is a tough act to follow, but he and pardon me, like Coach, we both had a little laryngitis this week, and I'll do the best I can.
Mine's permanent.
I'm hoping mine is not permanent. I'm going to try to hold it together. What Coach described of our little girl, he nailed it. That is Shelly, and we love her dearly. She's very sorry she couldn't be here. But I am thrilled to have the opportunity to accept this wonderful award on her behalf. Little did I know about this afternoon, she emailed me with some comments. She really did want to be here, and had she been here, there were a few things she wanted to share, so let me do that for her. These are Shelly's words. As you've noticed, I'm not here to accept this wonderful honor. Instead, I'm back in Seattle, recovering from medical procedure. I deeply regret not being here tonight. I'm sure this award means something different to everyone who wins it. It's a terrific compliment, certainly. But considering the fact that I've been fighting cancer, this award means more to me. It's a welcome and timely reminder that I'm a formidable competitor. I'm part of the Kenyon swimming tradition, after all. I'm no stranger to hard work or pain. I've got the ability to focus on a long-term goal and the stamina, courage, and discipline to reach or even surpass that goal. Come to think of it, if ever there's a program designed to prepare a person for the rigors of fighting cancer, it's the Kenyon swimming program. She adds, this is Shelly. Coach, talk about a missed marketing opportunity for prospective seniors. Can we chat about that later? In all seriousness, I loved every minute of my time on this team. Every year, the 60 or so of us, under Coach's careful guidance, created this thing that was almost magical. It's unlike anything I've experienced since. I'm forever grateful for the opportunity to have swum and succeeded here. What a great foundation upon which to build my life. Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Mom and Dad. Thank you, Kenyon.